All right, we are recording. I am Colleen. I'm the founder of Team Inspire Action. Thank you all so much for getting on the call tonight. It's awesome to see all of you hopping on. And if you are joining us, just go ahead and mute yourself if you are not already muted. We have a few announcements, and it's awesome to see new people on the call. I love it. So thanks so much for getting on. If you're new to us, and you'll be very familiar with our Brady Bunch talking heads all around your screen in calls soon. We have a lot of fun with it. But I'm going to go through a few announcements, and then I'm going to do a speaker view, so you'll see Sheila talking, and we'll hear Sheila talk about a particular topic tonight. So first announcements are, everybody probably has noticed that 22-minute hardcore has released. Has anybody gotten it, tried it, gotten it on demand or anything yet? Show of hands. I have not, and I need to get it. Yeah, awesome. And I did not even get a chance to try the sneak peeks. So I'm really excited to check it out and try it out. Should be available in the base kit as well as the challenge pack at this point. But I hope a lot of you are promoting that. I need to figure out my timing for promoting that with the cruise coming up, and probably going to be pushing that to after. But it's really awesome to see a lot of you announcing it and creating a lot of excitement and energy around that new program. I really love Tony Horton in the P90X3 program. I'm generally not a huge Tony Horton fan, so it was cool to do a program of his that I got a good experience with him and could say, okay, this is what he's all about. This is what he's, for me was good for and what I liked about it. So it'll be cool to see him live as well on the cruise. I'm sure he'll do some of the workouts from it. So that will be really cool. I'll share with you guys how that goes. But we definitely want to be promoting that and letting people know about that. And there's a lot of different people I think that can be promoted to, not just, military or just Tony Horton fans or whatever. It's also a time limited program, a great workout in a short time. And then also I think people that want to support the military and have a special, desire to do something that would have connection to them. So I think that's really cool as well. Thanks. I see some other people hopping on. So good to see you guys. So next, trainings that are going on. We've got the Sprint to Diamond training, 8-week group that's going on right now. We're collaborating. Lindsay and I are kind of leading together with our group, along with Angie Green and her group. We're doing Zooms pretty much each week for that on a certain topic. Generally, it will be a guest speaker. We've got Christine Dwyer going to be on. We've got Arnold Nakaha, who is a corporate regional director for Beachbody, that will be speaking on that. Those calls will be open to the entire team. So even if you are not in that Sprint to Diamond group, but you are wanting to join in on that call, you can do that. And I will make sure to share that information and that link with the whole team. Those will be great ones to listen to, or the recording afterwards. So I'm excited to see so many of you involved in that group and that were on our call last night. It was after the call was over, it was like a flurry of posting and sharing information and really a lot of excitement with that. So thank you to all of you who are participating in that. I hope it's going to be a great group. Let's see. A couple things have come up just in messaging with coaches lately that I wanted to mention because it's always good to get a reminder. I know we talk about them in team calls, but then we have new coaches join or things come up or it means something different to you in that moment. So I wanted to mention the guaranteed active status because I said that to Lindsay today and Lindsay said, wait, whoa, what's that? So I thought I need to mention this again on team call. So if you have a coach or if you are the coach who is showing inactive or you're not sure about if you're going to stay active and maybe you're wanting to maintain your rank, maybe a coach of yours is wanting to maintain your rank. If you have your Shakeology on HD, maybe you don't have any other sales that month, but you've got your Shakeology HD, you should always be staying active. Why I bring that up is that if you have a return, your volume may show as negative. And so you may show that you are not active or like maybe you're highlighted in red in the back office. So it looks like you're going to go inactive on Thursday morning if you don't have a sale or if you don't order something. But if you have Shakeology HD even if you have a return, you have a guaranteed active status, but you need to request that from Coach Relations to make sure that you don't get marked as going inactive, okay? Because that can mess with your team cycle bonuses if you're Emerald and receiving that. It can mess with your rank. It can mess with your coach's rank. And if you're wanting to maintain that active status at all times, you need to make sure that you have that. Even if you have a return, you could show up as inactive even if you're on Shakeology. Does that make sense? Anybody have any questions about that? Go ahead and unmute yourself if you do. No? Good. Okay, so guaranteed active status. All you do is you do the online chat or call into Coach Relations before, Wednesday at midnight and say, I'm on Shakeology HD. I know I had a return. I would like to make sure I'm getting my guaranteed active status. Okay, so keep that in the back of your head for any coaches that you sign on and that ever might be an issue, or to share with anybody on the team that has a question about that. Next, placement issues. We're going to do a lot more with training with this in the Sprint to Diamond group because placement is always a big question. But I wanted to at least mention to you, as you are bringing in coaches, you always want to be placing them on an outside leg. Sometimes that does not make sense until you are in it and about to add them on, or they've already actually signed up and you're like, wait a minute, they're both on my right leg, or they're both on one side. How do I change that? You can change it within the first 3 days of a coach signing up, but after that, it's stuck. So when you have a coach sign on, you need to check in your back office where they get signed up and placed, because sometimes it might look like they're good, but if you haven't looked at the family tree, I call it, the genealogy, to see that little placement, that little red person, I think they're red, or it's highlighted red when they're going to go there next. And then it says their name and shows a little person when somebody signed up. If it just says they're on your right, but they're not in the right correct spot on your right leg, it doesn't matter. You cannot change it later. Okay, so you want to be aware of where people are getting placed. And I tell everybody this, but still a lot of people don't realize you can select the exact spot that you want somebody placed. You don't just select preferred placement on right or left leg. Do you guys want me to do screen share so I can show you that? Would that be helpful? Okay, I'm going to do that really quick because I want to jump into our topic. But I think this is really important. Okay, so we're going to do screen share. Okay, here we go. Hopefully I can get to my office. Okay, my office is not open. So here we go. I'm going to do this real quick. And I'm going to show you guys where to do the exact placement selection. You don't want to just do selecting preferred right or left side. So this is really big, and it came up for different coaches lately. So Coach Online Office. Sign in.
Colleen, while you're looking, for the
Sure.
sake of new coaches, can you explain why this could really screw things up later?
Absolutely, yeah. So thank you very much. So with the placement of coaches, you are go downline, and you guys can see my screen, right? Downline and graphical genealogy. Okay, so you see me here, and then you see lots and lots and lots of coaches. I'm gonna go to, okay, so say I want to place somebody on my bottom, like I will definitely explain that, Sheila. So if I want to go to my bottom right, I can click at the top, go to bottom right. I go all the way down. So here's the last person, Lori Patterson. Welcome to the team, Lori.
No, we can't see the screen.
You can't see it?
No.
Oh, thank you for letting me know. You can just see me?
Yes.
All right.
Your beautiful face.
Good. Okay, wait. Thanks for letting me know. Okay. Share screen. Desktop. Can you see anything now?
Just you.
Shoot.
We could make a little mini video about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've done that before actually, but you know what? If I can't do it right now, oh wait, here we go.
Mm.
Can you see now?
I think you're doing it. Yep.
Got it.
I can
Okay.
see your rocks. There you go.
Can you see? Okay. Can you see like a person? All right. I'm going to go back to top. All right. So you see me there. There I am. Here's Tony on my right. Go to bottom right. And you go into this under my business and then my downline graphical genealogy. Okay. This is going to show your little family tree. And then I see all the way down here on my bottom right, Lori Patterson. So that's the last coach that was signed up from somebody on my right leg. I would, if I'm going to place somebody on my right leg, I would go into this and I would click this right little person. Okay. And then it says, this user has been selected for preferred placement. Would you like to save this change? I would do okay. I'm not right now because that's not where I'm placing my next person, but I'm going to, so I would say yes or okay there. I do not want to put them on this left side. So can you see this left where my cursor is? The left side person, I would not want to place anybody there. That's an inside leg. You don't want to place any coaches there. You always want to be placing on your far outside right or your far outside left. Okay, that's as much as I'll go into it right now. I'm going to come back so I can see you guys and you can see me. And why it's important though is that if you are an Emerald coach, you've got 2 coaches that you have, and then you're starting to accumulate team cycle volume, okay, to make bonuses on your team volume. You do not want to have a coach placed on an inside leg because that coach then has no other coaches helping their team volume. Okay, when I've got a coach on my right leg, so that Lori Patterson, I don't even know who she is or whose coach she is, but I'll continue to place coaches on my right leg so that they would then have volume from me, from other coaches on the team. So you're always hopefully getting help in volume from one coach at least above you, okay, in the downline. So you do not want to place somebody on that inside leg where they would have no assistance or no help with creating team volume. Okay, so you always want to go on that right outside or left outside. I'll do a lot more training and a lot clearer demonstration of who you would want to put where, or when you're signing up somebody that you know is going to be a really big business builder, why you would want to strategically place them on one leg versus the other. Okay, but I at least want you to know it matters where you place people, and you always want to go outside legs. Gets a little bit more in-depth when you have a spouse signed up or a second business center or something like that. Then you make some modifications with that. Okay, but for just basic purposes, right or left, very outside. Do not put them on those inside, like, oh, this one seems open, let me just stick somebody there. Do not do that. You do not want to just fill in the dots and be, no. So, okay, I'm going to, last thing I think you had. So I know that some people have been wondering about emailing Coach Relations and thinking like, I got to email them or whatever, or Coach Change, I want to email them. There is now an automated form that you're going to actually get an email kicked back to you that says, use this link. So if you guys have gotten that at all yet, anybody know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Okay. So you can actually access that form. No, maybe not. If you go to your online office and you want to go scroll all the way down and see the contact us. If you do contact us, you can either do the online chat to ask a question, to make a placement change, to change your Shakeology even. So you can do the online chat, you can call Coach Relations, or you can do the automated form. They are not accepting emails anymore. So if you do send an email to Coach Relations at Team Beachbody, which is what we used to do, you'll get an email kicked back to you and it will actually have the form link in it that you can use. But you can also access that and do like an online form to them. So you can even attach documents to that. So, and you, or, you know, if it's a coach cancellation or something like that, you have to use that form to contact them. Customers can also use that similar form as well and make their Shakeology change or flavor change, or, you know, say they didn't get a booklet in their program or anything like that. customers can use that as well. I don't think they're accepting regular customer emails too. Okay, so just wanted to mention that and help you be aware that there's just a new way, but it actually works really well and they do respond right away. And I've used it to make corrections on things. Just checking the chat. Okay, you guys were asking about the screen share before. All right, so without further ado, we're going to hand it over to Sheila. Sheila's been a coach on the team about 2 years, I believe, and she is currently expecting baby. We had talked about it in the beginning of the call. So she always is coming up with great ideas on training, topics she'd like to learn more about, topics that she has learned about and would like to share with others. And so I wanted to let her talk tonight about the issue that isn't often an issue for so many of us with time management and how to work that into, the obstacles of time management into a successful coaching business. So she's going to share with us some things that she's worked through and some helpful tips for all of us. So thank you, Sheila, and welcome her to the call. I'm going to mute myself and you can take it away.
Okay, well, thank you. I have a lot to cover and I want to keep it short. So I want to challenge you to keep your minds open and not to resist time management stuff. I know that we all can be a little afraid of time management skills, just like we can be afraid of budgeting. So just keep your mind open. I have a quote from John C. Maxwell that says, "The longer you wait to do something you should do now, the greater the odds that you will never actually do it." So I think that's a big one for time management. If you're procrastinating, you're probably not going to do it. I want to first cover the big struggles that we all have. They really are our biggest excuses that all of us as coaches have had, or for the most part, and we have to overcome those. Second, I'm going to give you a couple of resources for how to make your to-do lists and priorities and to get, so that you can accomplish your big why goal and get organized. And that'll be used for any parts of your life, not just Beachbody. Third, I'll give you some real world tips on how to do the 3 vital behaviors of being a Beachbody coach. So first, with the struggles, we all have or have had full-time jobs, bills, things to apply for, classes, families, boyfriends, girlfriends, spouses, problems, hard times, good times. We've moved homes, we've all been there. And if you really are wanting this business to achieve some of your goals, they can't be excuses for not doing the business or for coming in and out for every few months and then wondering why it's not working. And I say that with grace. I've been there, done that. And I've paid for it dearly, So, if we get sick, we have loved ones sick, or if there's hospitalization, that stuff happens to us all, and that's a great time to turn to your team and ask for some help. If you need to pull out of, of posting in challenge groups, or you need your team to kind of step in, your downline, your upline, people will absolutely help you. So when there is an emergency, don't be hesitant to ask for help and take things off your plate with your business. But don't confuse that those emergency situations or that feeling of like, I just don't want to do this, with burnout. Obviously burnout because you've just been running yourself ragged doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help anyone on your team or your customers or you. But there's a difference between burnout and I'm just not motivated today. Those are really different. And the reality is that we all as business owners have those feelings, and even the top coaches have those feelings. So even the top coaches that are millionaires still have to work hard to get Success Club, and they still have to do the 3 vital behaviors, and they have hundreds or thousands of coaches to attend to as well. So the busiest people in this business tend to do really well because they're just good at becoming efficient and productive. They're used to being busy, and they're used to identifying what are the most high value activities that will bring the most value to their team and to their business. My own excuses I had were I had too much on my plate. I can barely even get my own workouts in. My customers won't even do the program. So what's the point? Between my personal problems and work, how can I get all this done? I had all those same excuses. But this business has really helped me to achieve the ability to be working part-time and stay home most of the time with my child and my second baby. And I wouldn't trade that for anything in the world. So keep your eye on your goal. Some solutions I offer, I think are good to overcome those excuses. First, you need to determine, am I willing to change? And if not, can I say to myself, I am unwilling to change? Most people won't say that to themselves, but you really need to be honest with yourself. And maybe you do need to reanalyze your priorities. Number 2, take certain things off your plate that are not fulfilling your goals. Number 3, journal. Get some counseling, do books, audios, classes, church, prayer, or outside support group, synagogue, whatever you need to help you with the emotional stuff. I took a class at my church on boundaries, and I loved it, and it helped me so much. Lots of ideas there. Number 4, change your thoughts. Instead of, I don't have time for this, why don't you say, I am not willing to make time for this, and see if that lines up with the goals that you set. Because if it doesn't, then you're off track for your goals. That's going to force you to be more honest with yourself about excuses, because you're basically calling yourself out on your excuses. So I hope that helps. I don't mean it without grace. I mean, I'm telling you, I've had to do it with myself. Remember your why. They say to have a why that makes you want to cry. And that might change over time as you achieve certain goals. So keep that in mind. All right, I'm going to move into the second part, resources and some lifetime management tips. So this can go for any parts of your life, not just Beachbody. In the morning, first time in the morning, even if you're not a morning person, which I am not, it is the one time a day that's pretty much mostly controlled by you. No one else is up, and you don't have fires to be put out. So the most important things to get done that day need to be done in the morning. Even if you hate mornings, just, basically just tell yourself, just do it. I read something, I think it actually came from a John C. Maxwell book, but I saw it on YouTube. They said the words creative and reactive all have the same letters, and you just move the R and you create the word creative. So instead of being reactive to your day and opening your inbox or your messages or looking through your Facebook, you can be creative. And even if maybe you don't feel like you're the most creative in the morning, just try it. Just try to get up and have maybe a few ideas in your head of what you need to get done that day, your to-do list. Maybe think about some projects you want to get done. You might even be surprised at some of the creative ideas that might come to you. Some of my best content for posts comes to me first thing in the morning, even though I'm not a morning person. So in the morning. Another free resource for you to really look into is Chalene Johnson's 30daypush.com. So it's just 30daypush.com. It'll teach you how to use a digital to-do list and how to manage it. She talks about creating the right environment and the right triggers for you to get the most important things done. It's just the best description of how, and she's got a book on it too, but it's just the best way to handle your to-do list and to organize it, because it's not just going to be one big list. It's going to be segmented. And then another resource is Darren Hardy, author of The Compound Effect, has on his website, thecompoundeffect.com/resources. And I'll put these links in the comments on the recording, but they are brilliant for identifying and organizing your priorities. So your lifetime goals, and then your priorities, and then your daily tasks. Those worksheets are really useful. They get your head going. You can really start off by writing in the beginning of a week, writing out your goals for that week, and maybe even split up a few of those goals for each day. I know that Brittany Leggett, one of the top coaches, says that she does that. So I think that's really good. So 3 things I'm gonna, you can try with for your business, you could try using the business activity tracker. And it's called the BAT. And I know a lot of people don't like it very much because I think they're afraid to see a lot of zeros on it, because it basically has you writing, did you do it, or how many did you do? If your goal was 3 and you did 0, and your goal was 3 and you did 1, it's okay to have the zeros. Maybe don't be afraid of them. Recognize that we all have some zeros. You just want to track it, because if you have 3 weeks in a row where you have zeros every single day, then you're going to realize you're not doing activities daily that move your business forward. And then you could even think about sending that as business activity tracker sheet to your mentor or your upline coach, maybe every Thursday. Like that's your routine. I know I would love for my coaches to do that. And so that's an idea. I know Brittany Legit, I don't know how to pronounce her name. She has a half sheet that she uses to plan her day every day. And so she has them all pre-printed out. And she wrote on there 4 categories. So she uses the BAT, and then she also uses this half sheet. So the BAT's for her business, and then the half sheet's for her business and also for her personal life. And it says in the first top part, projects, and that's where she might write about like ideas for new trainings that she wants to create or a new video she wants to do that day, or things like that. And then she'll have a second category, people to reach out to, people she promised things to. A third category, people she's waiting to hear back from. And that's a way for her to not be a slave to her inbox, because when she goes to that little blank, she goes into her inbox and just skims for the names of the people she's waiting to hear back from. And then the fourth one is priorities. And that can be Beachbody or non-Beachbody related. She even gave the example of dry cleaning. Maybe I got to go pick up the dry cleaning, do some chores, whatever you got to do that day. And so she uses that half sheet and the BAT, and that's how she manages her business. Another alternative to the BAT is the Power of 3. There's an Excel sheet version, I think, on Team Inspire Actions file pages. We can always call in, or I can help you find it. But we even have a PowerPoint that explains how it works. But it's a similar way of getting all your activities in for your business. I think the thing you got to tell yourself is, you have time to build this business no matter how busy you are, because the busiest people often do the best with this business, like I said, because they're just used to trying to find the most efficient way to do everything. Don't reinvent the wheel. Realize that almost everything with this business has been created. Templates for everything have been done and created. All you got to do is really use Google. I use Google. I have Beachbody, how to run a challenge group, or like Beachbody template challenge group post or something. You can find anything, and it's in our online office too. Okay, so now I'm going to move my last part of this talk. Some real world examples of how to use time management tips for the 3 vital behaviors. First rule, don't be reactive, which means don't start scrolling through your notifications, your messages, your news feed, unless it's your designated time to do so. Because a lot of times you go into Facebook for work and you need to figure out, which part am I going to focus on? Is it going to be notification catch up? Is it going to be just messages? Is it just messages for people I was looking for a message back from, things like that. So with the first behavior, being a product of the product, obviously that just means getting your workout done, drinking your shake. But right then and there, you can just be taking some quick selfie or a quick picture of your shoes or a creative shot of your workout, a quick little video excerpt right there during your workout, or during when you're making the shake. My coach Tanya on my team makes the most hilarious post by taking a picture of her face like before or after the workout, like she's like dying, and then she puts the text on her photo of what she was thinking at that time, and they're funny, and they're very motivating. So you don't have to create the post at that time. You just got to take the picture, put it aside, and you can organize your pictures on your phone into little albums, either right then or even a little bit later if you have a break in your day, and maybe organize them into like Shakeology pictures or workout pictures, and you can recycle those. And then same thing with ideas for posts. If you have an idea come to you randomly at any time of the day, just jot it down in a digital note on your phone and forget about it. Create it later. Wait till your creative time in the morning. Okay, for inviting, your second vital behavior, invite. Do not get carried away with having to respond right away to everybody. Don't be a slave to your inbox. Turn off the notifications. You don't have to have your phone ding at you every time you get a message. Determine your start and end time of your hours each day. Recognize that usually with Beachbody coaches, it works best to have a little bit of time in the morning, maybe a little bit of time midday, and a little bit of time at night. Even if you work full time, I did it. I know. I used to do early morning, maybe even half my lunch break for Beachbody, or even 15 minutes of my lunch break for Beachbody. And then I would do late at night, And so ideas for that, you might use your mornings time to do your creative projects, maybe come up with some creative content or ideas for your posts. You can pre-schedule them with Hootsuite or some other apps. On your like page, it's very easy to pre-schedule those posts. And then you can just focus on the rest of your day without having them interrupted. You can respond to challengers' posts from the night before. You can use that time to respond to coach questions that are in your inbox or in your team page. That's a good idea for morning. Midday, I think it's a great time, midday or mid-afternoon, maybe even between 12 and 4 o'clock, to ask a question on your social media or have a really funny post to get a lot of people commenting and getting a lot of likes, because I think people are at their jobs and they're bored and they're looking on Facebook. And then at nighttime, I think you should save your best content for the night posts between 6 to 9 p.m. Actually, I'd probably almost say 7 to 10 p.m. Because that's when most people are on social media and you'll get to reach the most people. Make those about inviting to a challenge group, or those about congratulating a coach or showing a success story or something like that. Make that your best content. You want to always be, and nighttime's also the best time to be inviting new people, responding to, prospects. I have noticed for myself that people tend to buy challenge packs at night. I don't know if any of you noticed, almost all my sales always close at night. And when I've done my inviting in the morning, which is still better than not doing it, people tend to forget about it and they don't respond, or they respond and then they never close the deal. I think at night when they're at home with their spouses, they can talk it over and then they just buy right then and there. They don't even think about it. So I think that works. Okay, last vital behavior, personal development. And this is one of the biggest ones. As I read this book by John C. Maxwell, 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, I'm really liking it. He says growth is not accidental. He recommends, and I don't want you to close your mind off to this, he says rework your calendar for growth every day, 5 days a week, 50 weeks a year. And you'll say, I don't have time for that. And he even said in the book, that's true, probably true. Do it anyway. He said, if not, prepare to give up your dreams and any hope of reaching your potential. So again, he thought, why do personal development? You're not going to be motivated to do it. Motivation is like love and happiness. It's a byproduct. Motivation is not going to strike you like lightning. The whole idea of motivation is a trap. Forget motivation, just do it. And that's a quote from him. I'm not that brilliant. You're more likely, and then he had another quote from a Harvard psychologist, you're more likely to act yourself into feeling than feel yourself into action. And this applies to fitness too, man. So you don't have the time, you don't have the money, the experience, and so on to grow, right? You have all those excuses, but you do have one reason to do personal growth. You hope it will make a difference. And that won't feel inspirational at first. But once you start, you get addicted, just like fitness. Reasons to keep growing. And then once you get started, the reasons to keep growing far outweigh the reasons to start growing. So just start. And that's what we also need to be sharing with our challengers. I think that that's a quote in that whole paragraph, and I'll share it with you guys if you want. I think that is something I'm going to share with my challengers almost every time in the first week of a challenge group. So some practical time management tips for your personal development. Obviously, audio is a great way to do it while you're doing those mindless activities. You have mindless activities in your day. It could be driving, it could be cooking, cleaning, doing dishes, something. And you have 15 minutes of that mindless activity that you could dedicate to listening and putting your headphones in and having it play on your phone. Some ideas. Some of your personal development in the week probably should be your business training, whether it's one of your training groups you're in, or whether it's training from the online office or the national wake-up call, which we should all be listening to every single week. I've had my best trainings from the national wake-up calls. Just use that. I also will often Google search for 15-minute videos from some of the top coaches, Melanie Mitro, Nikki Whiting, Janelle Summers, Scotty Hobbs, Lindsay Matway. our very own Colleen Arrington, Sarah Try. We've got videos and recording calls in our file section. Why not use those? Our online office, you can read books on different topics that you are interested in. They might be time management. They might be relationships, marriage, communication, conflict management, emotional intelligence, strength finders, failure. You might want to read about how to do well in multi-level marketing, like the book Go Pro, or The Compound Effect is about daily habits and how they compound over time. So you have so many topics to think about. Personal development should not be something you dread. Just like workouts. If you haven't found the right kind of personal development, just like a workout, you haven't found the right kind. So just keep searching. And there's so many resources. Our Success magazine online inside our online office is wonderful. It's got tons of audio and video and book summaries. If you don't have time to read a whole book, why not read a summary of one that's been already put together by somebody? Library. I have just discovered that my library doesn't have all the John C. Maxwell books that I love right there in that library, but it's part of a greater network. I go online, I search, and I go, ooh, John C. Maxwell. I find all of his like umpteen million books, and I request them on hold, and I get to pick them up at my local library within days. So that's an idea. Audible.com. Also, any expenses you do spend on personal development, just like with your fitness gear and shoes, are tax deductible. Keep track of those as a time-saving tip in a note on your phone that just says 2016 taxes. Any Shakeology samples you send out, anytime, if for some reason you didn't sell them or you lost a little bit of money on them, track that. Track your shipping, track any of that, all on your phone. And make sure that's backed up on your iCloud or whatever the Android version of that is, so you don't lose it. Other tips, Darren Hardy has a 3-minute video that can be sent to your inbox every day with different personal development topics that are really good. You could do podcasts. Obviously, Chalene Johnson's got great ones. There's a lot of good ones. Ask our team and say, hey, I want to learn more about this topic. What are the best personal development resources you could recommend? I bet you we're all going to comment like crazy, a bunch of stuff. All right, so I'm going to close before we do questions. My closing thoughts are from a top coach named Nikki Whiting. She says she enjoys her time with her family and friend and her kid, and basically created her schedule. So she wakes up, does her Beachbody business for a little bit, then she spends 4 hours with her kid, then she does a little bit more Beachbody work, maybe nap time, or does her workout and her Shakeo then, and then she spends the next 4 hours with her kid, and then she spends time with her husband, and then they go to bed, and she does a little more Beachbody work, and basically she gets to create her own schedule. She's her own boss, and she gets to work with people she chooses to work with, and she doesn't work 8 to 5. She still has to work a lot. I mean, these top coaches even are still working some, they're not working just only 4 hours a day, probably not, but they are working, but man, it's fun stuff that lights them up and lights up their passion. That's what motivates me. And I think it should motivate most of us. So it's just to be able to have your own more fluid schedule and be able to fulfill your own goals. I don't think there's anything that beats that. So, all right, and then I think the only other thing she said was that's why she works so hard, so that she could do that. And that's what I would like to leave you with. Why do you want to work so hard for this? And what do you have to give up to do it, to make it happen? All right, questions? Okay.
Anybody have any questions at all or comments? Things that you heard, maybe not for the first time, but it was really helpful to hear tonight?
Well, I want to say thank you, Sheila, for coming on and talking to us. I do appreciate it. And you came up with some really good points, and I look forward to seeing some of those posts in the Team Inspire Action. I'm auditory. That's my skill is very auditory, and I love the audiobooks.com. So absolutely, hands down, recommend that to anybody, especially if you're waiting for a flight. It's always a good time to put it on, and you never have to worry about people talking to you because it's obvious you don't want to talk at the time. But thank you very much for taking time out, and I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, Sheila, you had some great tips. I just wanted to go through, there was a couple things that I marked, and I took like 1, 2, 3, 4 pages of notes. And it's funny because it's not that this is new information to a lot of us. It's not that it's brand new, but I don't have this stuff. I've been doing this for over 4 years, and it's not like I have my stuff all together and I have it all perfect. So it's helpful to hear it again and to hear it from someone else's voice and to think, how can I apply this in my life right now? Because how I'm doing my life and my business right now is way different than when I heard some of this stuff for the first time 4 years ago or 2 years ago, so don't hesitate to listen to a call, listen to a video again, and hear it with new ears, read something with new eyes. If you've read a personal development book before, don't think that it's not going to apply to you, to listen to it or to read it again. So thank you, Sheila. You really did an amazing job pinpointing a lot of really helpful tips for all of us. I love the idea that you gave about setting out your daily schedule and your weekly goals that you want to accomplish. And then the breakdown of Brittany Leggett is how you say her name. So it's really similar to the 90-day workbook that Chalene Johnson put out too. So Sam's on and saying, thanks, Sheila. So thanks, Sam. And so I'll put that link also in the comments. So we'll have a lot of links to share with you guys. Sheila, it would be great if you could post those in the when I get the recording up. And what was the other one? Oh, if anybody doesn't know, we do have the Success on Demand right in our online office. So Sheila was right. You can pick out a topic that you want to learn from and look right there to hear audio, to read an article, or to find out where you can go, what author has written about or spoken about this topic, and then go and find that book if you'd like to read the whole book or listen to the full audio recording of it. So Success on Demand is a great resource that I think we don't even use enough in our Coach Online office. Oh, and Sheila, I love how you organized your photos. I talked at the retreat about saving everything in your phone and just scrolling through your phone is not a system. It's something that all of us do probably a lot. I definitely have done it myself, but I'm working on getting my photos organized. If you could share in the comments as well in the team about how you did. I remember seeing it in a post before of how you organize your photos in just your iPhone. And so I think it's probably a lot easier. Like, okay, I want to make a Shakeology post. I'm going to go in and pull a Shakeology picture, put up a recipe or something. But something, or before and after photos, save them in a folder in your phone. So helpful to do that, and helps to get your posts up quickly without spending an hour to create a post. So awesome. Thank you so much. Anybody else? Any other questions or comments?
I just wanted to say really quickly, Sheila, thank you so much. You gave me so much. I'm with Colleen. I have page after page of notes. You did an awesome, awesome job. And Colleen's right. A lot of this stuff we've heard, but it's also kind of like I needed a few of these, like, duh, hello. Like one thing that spoke to me that you had said was to be creative and don't be reactive, and to use time that I wasn't really thinking about. I've been dealing with some heel spurs and some foot injury problems. So I'm used to getting up to work out, and I can't because I can't even walk on my foot in the mornings. So it's like, duh, now I do this stuff in the morning because I can't work out until later. So instead of staying up late and doing my business stuff at night, get up in the morning and be reactive. So it just totally made sense. Like, thank you for that. It's like work smarter, not harder. So I need to remember that.
And there might be thank you. There might be certain times of the day you might be more like ready to socialize too. Like I'm not really ready to talk to people in the morning. I don't want to get on and start messaging people and going, hi, how are you? Da, da, da. They're not usually going to respond anyway right away, but I don't come off genuine, and I don't think that is my best self. So that's a great time for me to be doing creative projects. And I can't work out right now either because I'm too far along in the pregnancy. And so I understand.
I love the early morning time for personal development. So, and some of you guys will catch me in the early morning though, and ask questions, and I'll message you back. And I'm very short and to the point in the morning. I'm not as wordy in the morning because it's early morning. So if you get messages from me, then you're like, whoa, Colleen's, she's mad at me. It's not. I'm just short and to the point in the morning. So, all right. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for getting on. I know we went past a little bit more than we thought we were going to. I wanted to get those announcements to you though. And thank you. Share with your teams. The recording will be up as soon as I can get it on YouTube. And we will talk to you soon. Thanks a lot for being on. Let me stop the recording.